Okay, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Uh, I hope you can see my screen and I hope you can hear me. This is Abhinav. I welcome you. Thank you, Snehaji. Thank you for joining. Okay, so thank you once again. I said we start at 7 p.m., but there was some delay because of some technical issue. So there was some delay. Sorry for that. Okay, so we will start now. Just a second. Just a second. Okay, okay. So I think I'm visible and we can start. Okay, so thank you so much. This is the first batch of the live sessions that I'm planning to take on Buddha teachings. So what I have done is that I have done like individual on topic wise videos also on this channel. So now what my plan is that every Thursday 7 o'clock IST, what I will be doing is that I will do the it as a live session. Like I'll cover all the core teachings of the Buddha in like a live session once every week. So we can cover in like some around 5 to 10 sessions. I'll be covering, and then once it's over, then I'll start again. Right? Okay, this is just a disclaimer. Okay, what you see here is the Creative Commons non-commercial share alike license. This means basically that my work on this channel and all the channels, any work that I do on the Buddha teachings is basically free for, you can share it for any non-commercial share alike purposes. You are free to share my work, right? So you can just go and check this license, what is its meaning, right? Okay. So, first of all, let me just take one time. Thank you so much, Nehaji. Uh, let us be grateful to Gautam Buddha, Lord Buddha, whose teachings we are going to discuss. I have just put just a quote from the discourse on turning the wheel of the dharma. It is like said that when Buddha gave the first teaching after his enlightenment to the five of his disciples in Sarnath near Varanasi, it is said that when the dharma wheel has thus been turned by the world honored one, which is the Buddha, the earth gods proclaimed near Varanasi at Isipatana in Deer Park, the highest wheel of the dharma has been set in motion. It cannot be turned back by recluses, Brahmins, gods, Maharas, Brahmas, or anyone in the world. So what Buddha did when he turned on the wheel of the dharma is that he set the wheel in motion, and that wheel will be there in motion forever. It cannot be turned back. So what we as Sangha members, as the spiritual community, we are doing is that we are just in a small way, we keep turning the wheel, right? At our end, we make small attempts to turn the wheel of the dharma, right? So I just thought to put that quote. So grateful to Lord Buddha for his teachings. Also, I am grateful to masters and teachers such as Thich Nhat Hanh, who's the Buddhist monk, Zen Buddhist monk. Bhikkhu Bodhi's teachings are like authoritative teachings on Buddha's authoritative interpretations on Buddha's teachings, Dalai Lama's teachings, and several other masters that I have referred to in my research. So gratitude to all of them, and also gratitude I have for my family for their unwavering support. See, this particular work is like a non-profit work. I don't get anything, and but their support, especially my wife's support, is so much for this initiative, that because of her support I'm able to do this. Otherwise I would not have done, right? Okay, just a small introduction. Basically, I'm a student of Buddha's teachings, and I'm a work in progress. As a human being, I'm like working on myself. And there are, the more what I have observed is, the more I practice mindfulness, the more basically I know my dark side. I know about my limitations and what I need to work upon myself. But that is also a very big progress, because if once you know what is you are lacking, then only you can work on that. So the more I'm mindful about my conduct, about my speech, the more I realize, the garbage is there, which I have to work upon and transform it, right? In Thai says, Buddhist monk Thai Thich Nhat Hanh says that in we, through mindfulness, we turn the garbage into manure, and then we use that also. So we use all our negative qualities also to develop. Okay, so I have practiced and I have certified in various spiritual and healing modalities like mindfulness, hypnosis, past life regression. Some I practice now, some I don't practice now, right? By qualification, I'm a CA and I've worked for 15 years. And then there was this spiritual shift in me that happened. And then in 2017, and then it was like, after that, you cannot go back in your journey. So then I started Lighthouse Souls with my wife Jaya in mid 2019, but finally it took shape in 2020 when COVID started. And we had anyways made up our mind to start, and then we did not know that COVID was about to come. So I'm based in Indore, my family, my wife Jaya, and we have two kids, 13 and 10. So this is just my small introduction. um, okay, before moving forward, now in this first session, there will be some introductory points that I will cover, and some teaching also I will start to cover, right? Okay, anyone has any questions, please do, you can ask, right? Okay, now I've also shared it today in the Telegram group also, that if you want to learn Buddha's teachings, this is going to be hard work. It is not simple work, right? Even when you say mindfulness, right? Mindfulness is what I have discovered in my journey. I'm a mindfulness coach, but what I've discovered is, as I discovered in Buddha's teachings, is that mindfulness is also tip of the iceberg, right? If you really want to practice the Buddha's teachings, it is deep work. I will not say hard work, but it is deep work. Practicing the teachings is hard. Sometimes you will feel that you are going nowhere, and sometimes you will come across your dark side will come in. You'll come face to face with your dark side. So these teachings, practicing these teachings is hard work, but it is transformative work, right? It is. uh, no, I don't follow, Snehaji, I don't follow. There are various traditions. I'll come to that. There are various traditions in Buddhism, like depending upon the tradition they do, right? So I'll come to that. Okay, so Buddha is a teacher. Buddha is not a god, right? He never claimed himself to be a god. There are people who made, stories around that he is the ninth avatar of, and all those things. There are, like, again, that is a different thing in itself, discussing that. But Buddha was basically a teacher. And his one thing was that, how can I come out of suffering? That was a quest that led him to what he discovered. And what he said is that, I can only show you the way, right? I can only show you the way. You have to do the work. And what Buddha's teaching involves is investigating what is going on in the mind, direct observation of the mind. That is the most difficult thing. You can worship n number of deities, and you can worship all the idol worship and everything you can do. That is all looking outside. Buddha said, look inside. It's now time to look inside. The garbage is there in the mind. All the defilements, it is called mental defilements, all the defilements are there in the mind. So we have to start looking at our mind, right? Okay. Okay, so yes, so please be clear on your why before embarking on this learning, because see, what happens is, nowadays it's all very easy, right? We live in an instant age. We live in the age of Instagram, the 1 minute videos and everything. But this is deep, right? So if you want to look into this, go into this, then you will have to do deep work. So only if you are clear, if your why is clear, then you will be able to move forward. Otherwise, there's no point wasting time in this, right? That's why very few people come to the Buddha's teachings. Not everyone does that. And that's why Buddhism is not that popular, because it is tough, because you need to do the real work, right? Okay, my why I am into making these videos. I could have done something else which would have earned me a lot of money, right? See, first is I have a deep inclination towards the teachings. And why the deep inclination is because of the suffering that I've seen in my life. And I got attracted towards this teaching which focuses on removal of suffering. See, I don't want enlightenment. I don't want, reaching heaven or some other worlds or nirvana, even not, nirvana, though nirvana is the goal of Buddha's teaching. But the fundamental thing of Buddha, why he left, was because of he wanted to get free from suffering, right? So that was my deep inclination why it is there with the teachings. Then I had a very difficult phase in my present life in 2021. I've talked about it in my videos and all, where these teachings actually helped me come out of this, right? So that is again a second reason why I'm sharing these teachings. If at least one person gets benefit of these teachings. Third, very, very important is, and this is actually the main reason why I'm doing this work, is that, okay, when I enrolled in a retreat at Plum Village in France, and it's an online retreat by Plum Village in France. It was a rains retreat, right? And there I saw people. We were put in groups, right? And there were like, in our group there were like 40-50 people. Out of this, only 2 people were from India. One was, I was there, and there was one lady, and all the other people were from different countries. So my biggest frustration was that why the country where Buddha got enlightenment, in that country only the Buddha's teachings are not there. Then I actually investigated. There are various reasons why Buddhism actually evaporated from India. The pure Buddhism is not at all practiced. It's actually evaporated. It's gone towards the the eastern countries like China, Japan, Korea, Thailand. It is practiced. Sri Lanka, not in India, right? And it has gone to the West. The West, people in the West practice it so well. And my frustration was, where the Buddha was enlightened, there only we don't practice these priceless teachings. So that frustration led me that, okay, whatever effort I will put my effort, right? So I am not making this videos for the benefit of people. I'm basically, you can say that I'm making it for myself, because I want to share this knowledge, right? Okay, before we proceed, there are a few points. One is, Buddha never claimed himself as God. Buddha never promised any salvation. See, if you see any religion, what the foremost authority in that religion is that I will give you salvation. I am the God, or like Jesus said, I am the Son of God. Buddha never said that. Buddha said that there are millions of Buddhas that have come before me, and there are millions of Buddhas that will come after me. I am only showing you the way. I am a teacher who shows you the way, but you have to walk on it, right? So that is again one more reason that I was attracted towards Buddha's teachings, right? So there is no problem. What Buddha said was, we have to change our conduct, how we perceive things with our mind, and how we actually, in many religions, it is like you worship a particular God, and that God says that, okay, I will give you the salvation. Buddha's teachings were not like that. Buddha said we have to stop doing negative things. We have to stop doing things like killing or lying or a lot of negative things, and we have to start doing positive things. Then we will walk on the right path, right? Okay, Buddhism is not a religion, right? Buddhism, this word, actually, see, all the masters, what they did was that they gave the teachings, and the people after them made a religion out of it. Buddha gave the teachings, then people started making religion around it. So there is no Buddhism as such. There are Buddha's teachings. Buddha did not create any religion. Buddha did not create any followers. Buddha did not ask anyone to change. He was very accepting of all religions. So everyone can follow their respective religion and take whatever good they can find in these teachings and implement them, right? So you need not be converting into a Buddhist or something, nothing like that. I myself am a Jain, right? But I follow Buddha's teachings, right? So there is nothing like a religion. Now, Buddha's teachings are vast, right? It is 84,000, some discourses are there. Over the course of Buddha's life, he just gave oral teachings, which after his death, his core disciples translated. I will come to that. So it's like a vast teaching is there, right? But I'm trying to cover only the core teachings, the most fundamental teachings. We don't want to be PhDs in Buddhism. If some of you want to do, that's good. You can go ahead. Even I may also want, may go and get a PhD, but that's not the aim. Our aim is to take the core teachings and implement in our life. So every learning that we get, we need to find a way to practically apply the teaching. If we cannot apply the teaching, then it is not very useful, right? Okay, Buddha said, test everything for yourself. Don't blindly rely, even on his teachings. Right? There's a very beautiful the quote that he said. I don't remember it exactly, but he said, even whoever is, even the person seems very learned, or whoever is giving the teaching, do not take any teaching for yourself. Don't blindly follow any teaching unless and until it forms part of your experience. Right? If you put it to test on your experience, only then you accept that teaching. Okay, now what I am, see, I am no Buddhist scholar, I am no monk, I am no dharma teacher, right? I don't have any such qualifications. I am a lay person living in this worldly life. I am just sharing my learnings from the Buddha's teaching. So please acknowledge there is a possibility of distortions, because I can only share which is basis my understanding. I am a student of Buddha's teachings and I'm on my own journey, right? So forgive me if there is something which contradicts your frame of reality with mine when I speak. Okay, so what I will do is that total 10 sessions will be covering around 10 sessions. See, I don't know. This is the first batch I'm doing. So whether it takes 5, 7, 10, I don't know. But maybe must be in 10 sessions, like 10 hours, we will be able to complete. Every Thursday, we will do it at 7 p.m. IST. So once a week. Right now, it will be on Zoom, and it will be on YouTube Live as well, streamed on YouTube Live. Benefit of doing it on Zoom, if you want to join through Zoom, is that we can discuss. Like after the I complete the 45 minutes teaching, then we have like 15 minutes to discuss. Right? Okay, sure. So, and the recording of this will be available on the YouTube channel. So you can, if you're not able to watch for a particular session, you can watch on YouTube. Notes, you will get the notes. All these notes, they will be available. And but once I complete all the sessions, then I will be, because this PPT itself, I will be making some of the other changes and all to make it more refined. So once this 10 sessions is over, then I will also share the PPT. You can download it. You can use it for your reference. So what I have basically done is that you can see there are many, many books. Like I will show you, like this book, Old Path, White Clouds. Then this book is Dhammapada. So these books, I'm like, this is the book, Heart of Buddha's Teaching, right? So what I'm doing is that I am taking in what are the main learnings from these authoritative sources and making it as concise and precise and easy for you. Right? The biggest reason, one of the reasons why Buddhism got eliminated is that it became a lot of intellectual kind of thing. All the monks and all, they made it more of an intellectual kind of a discussion and argument, and its relevance to the day-to-day lives got lost. So here we will try to keep it practical and relevant in our day-to-day life, right? How we can apply the teachings. Right? Okay. So the sessions will refine and evolve. Right? Every time I do the new session, I will also evolve, and I also evolve the presentation and my session. Okay. Duration will be teaching 45 minutes, and then we can have a question answer, sharing anything you want to share. Right? Anything you want to discuss, or from your practice you want to share anything, any reflections. Most welcome. So we'll have a short Q&A, and later on when we have more people, then we will also start with we can start with a 10-15 minute meditation, then the teaching, then the Q&A. So that will be the 1 hour plan. Now, if you are not there in Telegram, you can join the Telegram channel, and to get the updates, this is the link to the Telegram channel, t.me/Buddha Teachings 2. Right? You can join, you can just search Buddha Teachings 2 on Telegram and join. Whatever updates are there for this particular, it's also there in the YouTube description. You will get the link. So you can join this to get any updates on these live sessions and other things on Buddha teachings that I'm doing. I will be updating on this particular Telegram channel. Any queries, You can post on the Telegram discussion group, or you can WhatsApp on this number 7700 right? Okay. Okay. Support my work. See, this work that I'm doing is totally relying on donations, right? So if you feel inclined and if you can afford to do so, please support. Any amount is welcome, right? So these are the donation options you can use to donate, right? Okay, now we come to the learning plan. If you want to really, if you are serious and you want to learn about Buddha teachings, uh, thank you so much, Snehaji. If you want to learn, this is the learning plan that I will suggest to you. First of all, you need to write your why. What motivates you to learn about Buddha's teachings? That is number one. So that you can come back to it when you lose your motivation. You can like create a dedicated journal, and maybe in the first or second page of that journal, you can write your why you want to learn. Second, join each of my live sessions at 7 p.m. where we will discuss, and we can also, if you have any doubt from my limited understanding, whatever I can help you with, I will help you with, right? So join it live Thursday, 7 p.m. IST, or you can watch the recording later on also. It'll be available on YouTube. Join the Telegram group and feel free to post any reflect. So in that Telegram channel, there is a linked Telegram group, right? So we can discuss there also. If you have any reflections or questions, only related to Buddha teachings, not the general things, right? Only related to the Buddha teachings. If you have anything, any reflection, any question, any experience you want to share, please feel free to share. Just speak from your heart and be respectful. Okay, purchase one book on Buddha teachings, right? I have in the coming slides, I've given a list of books, recommended books. So purchase one book. Again, it's optional. If you do that, it will reinforce your learning. Purchase one book and target to read 10 pages of that book every day, right? So that book will be your main source of learning, and these interactions, this will be a more of an interactive side learning mechanism, right? Okay. Now, very, very important. No learning can replace direct experience, right? So you do all the learning, but if you don't meditate, Buddha places a lot of importance on meditation, because unless and until we meditate, our mind will not get concentrated. Our mind, what is the nature of our mind? It remains scattered here and there. So when we meditate, we can make our mind one pointed, and then we can look deeply into the defilements in our mind. And then we will realize, oh, what was there that was taught in that particular session. It makes sense. I can now relate to that. So the very, very important thing is, it has to be complement. The meditation has to complement. Thanks, Nehaji. So it has to complement your learning. All right. And if you see Zen tradition, they place so much importance on meditation that for them, meditation is their one thing. What I would say, it should be like complementing. So some bit of learning, some bit of dharma learning, and some bit of meditation. So it complements. One is meditate. I'm giving beginner instructions in the next slide. And also second thing is start becoming more mindful in the day-to-day life, right? So that's critical, right? Become more and more aware when you eat, when you listen, when you speak. It's all mindfulness, right? Becoming, walking, eating, listening. Try to be more and more aware of what is arising in you, right? Okay. And optional, that you can journal your learning experiences and progress every day, right? If you can just note down in your journal how you are progressing, right? Okay. Now, this is just a beginner instruction. If you practice any form of meditation, then very good, you can continue with it. If you don't practice any form of meditation, then in mindfulness tradition, in the Buddha's tradition, fundamental meditation, a starting meditation is called ANAPANASATI. Sati is basically mindfulness. Anapan is the in and out of the breathing. So ANAPANASATI is the full awareness of the breathing, right? So basically, it's a simple meditation where what you need to do is that you need to just sit. So you can sit in an uptight posture. Your spine should be straight. Close your eyes gently, and you can just keep your palms on your lap. Then what you can do is just bring your focus down to your belly, or you can keep your focus just above the upper lip, right? At this point, you can just and put your focus and just be aware of the breath coming in and the breath going out. We will not change the breathing. We will not alter the breathing. We will just observe the breathing, right? So, and then when the mind's natural tendency is to take you out, right? Wanders, mind wanders, thoughts come. So as you become aware that, oh, I should be meditating right now, don't judge yourself. Come back to your breathing. Come back to your breathing, right? Every time, just come back to it. So when you do that, what happens is, every time you do that, what you're doing is that you are strengthening the muscle of mindfulness in you, right? It will not happen just by one sitting or two sitting, but over time, when you do it like over 15 days to a month, you will naturally start feeling that you are becoming more and more mindful. When negative emotions come, when anger is arising, you are being mindful of that. Okay, right now anger is arising in me, right? This is like, you can then pat yourself on your back for that, right? Okay, be patient with yourself, and then when you are ready to conclude, you can open your eyes. I have a guided meditation on my YouTube channel on this also. You can check that. So this is like a basic beginner meditation you can start with, right? And you can start with 10 minutes, and then you can increase. You can like do morning 10 minutes, evening 10 minutes. That is like what you can start with, right? But that should be done. Some people say that uh, just practice mindfulness, just be mindful, and no need to meditate. I disagree with them, right? Because you need to first develop in yourself the capacity of practicing mindfulness through meditation. That makes it much more easier for the beginner. Once you are not a beginner, once you are intermediate or an advanced practitioner, then even if a day or two, if you don't meditate, that's not a problem. But for a beginner, I highly advise that you take out time and meditate, right? Okay. Now, some recommended learning resources, what I will suggest, I said the books that I will recommend. See, these are 2-3 books which these are like the most authoritative books if you want to read about Buddha's teaching. First is The Heart of Buddha's Teaching by Thich Nhat Hanh. This is a very compassionate book. You like Thich Nhat Hanh's style of writing. He's basically a poet. So very nice book, very concise, power pack book. This book by Rahula, What the Buddha Taught, this is like said to be for a beginner the best book that you can buy, right? If you want one book that I will suggest out of these all, will be this book, What the Buddha Taught, right? This is a very good book. In the Buddha's Words by Bhikkhu Bodhi. This is a book which is beginner, definitely a beginner book, but this is like a voluminous book of 512 pages. But this is again, Bhikkhu Bodhi's work is like authoritative work, in this authoritative work in this realm. So this is also a book that you can check. All these books are available on Amazon. If you want to read Dhammapada's verses, then you can check the book by Eknath Iswaran, the best kind of, I will say, the interpretation that he has. Then there are introductory course on Buddhism. This is an online course by Bhikkhu Bodhi. The link is given. Then this is a buddhanet.net. This is another source where you will find a lot of ebooks on Buddhism. Then there is a course by Tricycle. Okay, one important thing to remember is, don't get lost. There is too much stuff around, right? There's too much stuff around, too much, courses around this. So important is just to take one book and then, go through that particular book, right? Which should be the main material, right? Okay. Now the agenda. Now let's come to the agenda. What we'll be discussing in the 10 sessions. First is we've already done the introduction. Then we will understand a bit about the Buddha's life story. Then how Buddha's teachings are organized, right? How they are structured. So when you say 84,000 discourses, where all it is, how they are, we'll just understand a bit. Then main tradition is a Buddhism, where we will come to, there are certain like traditions like Theravada, Mahayana tradition. We'll just get an understanding of that. See, again, important thing, I'm not going to go into the theoretical aspects, right? That is why Buddhism, lost its touch with the practical reality of life. So we'll just touch upon the main traditions, then you can explore them, right? If you want a more theoretical understanding of a particular tradition, you can explore that. Then we start with the teachings, which is like, we'll start with 5 remembrances, 3 refuges, triple gems, 5 precepts, 5 aggregates, 4 noble truths. Then we'll discuss karma and reincarnation. It's not reincarnation, it's rebirth, right? There's a difference between rebirth and reincarnation. I will change this. 3 marks of existence, dependent origination, noble eightfold path, other key teachings, key Buddhist meditations and practices, and what should be our daily practice, right? Okay, why this I have put it in why I have put it in red is because the Four Noble Truths and the Noble Eightfold Path contains the entire Buddha's teachings. So all the 84,000 discourses, whatever Buddha has given, is all contained in the Four Noble Truths and the Noble Eightfold Path. All the traditions that there are various traditions that are there, they all have this common thing that is there in all traditions. So it's like the core, right? So first we will do a warm-up by taking up these topics, then we come to the main topics, right? So this in all covers the core of the Buddhist teachings which you can use in your day-to-day life, right? So this will be the agenda. So first, let us cover the just a few, like in a chronological order, what are the main aspects of the Buddha's life story. Most of you are aware of this, but like he was born somewhere in 563 to 480 BC, right? Born in Lumbini, which is in Nepal right now, as the son of King Suddhodana and Queen Maya. Then he was raised in luxury and he was shielded from the realities because his father got someone told him that he will become an ascetic, he will become a monk, and his father did not want, so he was like shielded from the realities of life. He got married and he had a son named Rahula. Then there were the 4 sights. When he was 29 years old, he encountered old person, a sick person. When he was going in his chariot, he encountered old person, a sick person, a corpse, and a wandering ascetic. This is called 4 noble sights. Which now this is the depth of Buddha's, I will say, perception and the insight. If like you or me, we look at, we every day come across old people, sick people, people dying, but though that question doesn't arise in us. He has such a deep perception, such deep insight, that when he encountered that, this question arose in him, that if everything is suffering, how to get free from suffering, right? So that question arose in him. He renounced the world at around 29 years of age. He left behind the royal family possessions to become an ascetic, seeking a solution. So the only one question that he had was, how can I get free? How to get free from this suffering? Then 6 years he spent in rigorous asceticism, and he talked to a lot of teachers to find the way to get free from suffering. Every teacher took him to a certain level, and then they said that, okay, I only know till this much, then you can contact someone else. So then what he did was he practiced rigorous asceticism. That means not being hungry and all. So it is like said, he became very, 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 very thin. And then he realized that this is not the way. This is not the way. And then he said he started eating moderately, and he started doing meditation. And then there was this time that, what, as per my learning and what my reading is, that he got frustrated after his quest for 6 years, and he finally sat under the Bodhi tree and said that I will only now get up when I get enlightened, right? So and finally he attained enlightenment. So it is said that when he was sitting in the Bodhi under the Bodhi tree and for his enlightenment, he came across the Mara, which is like Mara is the personification of all the negative traits, all greed, hatred, delusion. It tried to attack him first. He tried to tempt him through his daughters, but he did not get tempted. Then he caused rain, thunderstorms, everything. But Buddha's meditation was so strong that he got totally unmoved. And then Mara stopped, the rain stopped, the thunderstorms stopped, and Buddha became enlightened. And so basically, what is the difference is, he was Siddhartha, right? He became Buddha on that day and time when he became awakened. So the meaning of Buddha is the awakened one, right? So, and what Buddha said, that seed of awakening is there in all of us. right? And Thai, the Buddhist monk, says that we cannot be full-time Buddhas, no doubt, because of the living in the world and everything, but at least we can be part-time Buddhas. Every time we become aware of ourselves, what is going on in our mind, our walking and our sleeping, then we can all be part-time Buddhas. At least for that particular moment, we are the Buddha, right? So he attained enlightenment. Then when he attained enlightenment, then he got confused that, there are people who are sleeping, sleepwalkers are there, who are just sleeping in this world. They are just sleeping. And then there are people who already know everything. So what is my point of sharing? So he got the knowledge. When he got awakened, he got the knowledge of the Four Noble Truths and the Noble Eightfold Path, the path that can free one from suffering. So he was not very sure, and he was like, I think it's some 49 days or something, that he was in this confusion, that what I should do. Should I go ahead and share? Who will listen, right? And then there was some gods or they gave him this thing, that no, there are a set of people amongst the entire population who are just ready for that transformation, who are neither totally asleep nor they are totally awakened. They are on the verge of awakening. Your teachings are for those people, right? So then he gave the first sermon in Sarnath near Varanasi, where he, for the five ascetics which were his friends, and which said that they had actually said that he is no good, he has started eating also, right? What good he is. But when they saw him coming, right, they realized there is some quality in him, and they all bowed to him. And then he said that, okay, I have found the way, now I will share the way with you. So the first sermon was to the five ascetics, and this is where in Sarnath he gave, and this is where it is said that the dharma wheel was turned on by Gautam Buddha. And then he shared the knowledge of the Four Noble Truths and the Noble Eightfold Path. Then he established a monastic order to carry on his teachings. So Buddha could not do everything by himself. So he set up a sangha, an order, whereby people come together and they discuss, and they, like we are all sangha, right? Me and you and all those people who are practicing, who come together, we are the sangha. We carry the knowledge of the Buddha and the teachings forward, right? And implement in our life. And it's like a community. So he created the community. And then he traveled for 45 years. As he traveled, disciples, came together, and he delivered various discourses on the various. These are all oral teachings, which were later, made in writing. And then he passed away in Kushinagar, and he entered Parinirvana, which is like said as Parinirvana, right? So this is the basic story of life. And so we'll just have, like, I think first session is mostly has gone on the actually practical aspects. We will just take 2-3 topics, and then we will close, maybe 10-15 minutes more. Okay. So how the teachings are organized is that there are oral teachings, and after the death, the teachings got written down. I think 3-4 months after his death. Now, Tripitaka, also known as the Pali Canon, is the foundational collection. All the scriptures, they are contained. In the Tripitaka, and it's a collection of scriptures in Theravada Buddhism. Further, there are 3 baskets in that Tripitaka: Vinaya Pitaka, Sutta Pitaka, and Abhidhamma Pitaka. Basket of disciplines, which is the rules and guidelines for the monastic discipline. Basket of discourses, which is all the discourses, right? And then the higher teachings, which is more the advanced teachings. So these teachings are contained in these 3 baskets. So I'm just sharing how the teachings are organized. So apart from that, there are the Mahayana Sutras. The Mahayana Sutras, basically, they elaborate on the original teachings of Buddhism. These are like Lotus Sutra, Heart Sutra, Diamond Sutra. These are the Mahayana Sutras. Then there are various other collections, commentaries, sub-commentaries, and then there are commentaries with the advanced monks, right? So these are all combined into the total bucket of the Buddha's teachings, right? Okay, now main traditions, right? There are two main traditions in Buddhism. One is the Theravada Buddhism. This is basically it is prevalent in Sri Lanka, Thailand, Myanmar, and Laos. Now, they focus on the first teachings of the Buddha, which were preserved in the Pali Canon, right? The basic fundamental first teachings, right? Now, Theravada Buddhism, the goal is to become an enlightened one, Arhat, right? Arhatship, right? And they say that only the monks and nuns, like people who just fully devote themselves to the practice of Buddha's teachings, only they can attain the arhatship. And again, meditation, mindfulness, and ethical conduct are the key practices. So their focus is more on the personal development of the person to become an enlightened one. Then there is another tradition called Mahayana tradition, which is found primarily in East Asia, Tibet, China, Japan, Korea, Vietnam, Mongolia, right? So now this particular tradition, now see, in this, nowhere there is a reference to India, right? In India, it is also some people practice, but there are very few, right? So that is the frustration which I am coming from, right? Okay. Now, Mahayana Buddhism focuses on the newer teachings of the Buddha, which expand and reinterpret the original teachings. What the Buddhism say is that the Buddha's teachings were for the welfare of the entire world, not only for the personal development of the person. So there, the goal is to become a bodhisattva. Now, bodhisattva is a person who takes a vow that I will not become fully enlightened till I relieve everyone in this universe of suffering. Till the last person is there who is suffering, I will come back again and again and again to help relieve that person, relieve the entire humanity from suffering. So that is where the goal is, to be a bodhisattva, not seeking enlightenment only for oneself, but the enlightenment of all beings. So here the focus is not only on the meditation and the personal development, but also on the selfless service, and special focus on the compassion and loving kindness, right? So Mahayana Buddha, there have been many Buddhas and more will appear in the future. Each and everyone has a Buddha nature and can become a Buddha. Anyone can embark on the Bodhisattva path. Anyone, even a criminal, can get reformed. If you know, there's this story about Angulimal, right? So Buddha just transformed Angulimal, and he was trying to kill the Buddha, and Buddha just said him one word. He said, "Stop, stop, stop." And Buddha said, "I have already stopped. When will you stop?" And just by listening to that, he got transformed. So even a criminal has a Buddha inside him. It only has to come out, right? So anyone can embark on this path and reach the state of Buddhahood in this very life, right? It is not that you have to take so many lives to achieve this, in this very life, right? So now in this Mahayana Buddhism, again, there are different schools like Zen, Pure Land, and Vajrayana Buddhism. Different are there. Like, I will just cover them a bit. Zen is basically found in Japan, Korea, other parts of the world. Emphasizes direct experience. Now Zen, again, in Buddhism, like in Hinduism, what happened was, in every religion, what happens is people do a lot of theoretical kind of thing, rituals and theoretical and all those things. So the people in Zen, they said, no, we will only focus on the meditation aspect, direct realization through meditation. So Zen is very to the point. If you want to read one book, so I am lean more towards the Mahayana side of Buddhism and towards Zen. So I follow Thay's teachings primarily, which is Zen teachings. So and if you want to read one book on that, it is Zen Mind, Beginner Mind by Shunryu Suzuki. That is one book if you want to practice Zen. Zen is just being in this moment, right? Watching the grass grow and the sun shining. There is no meaning in Zen, just being in this moment, right? Okay. Then there's Pure Land Buddhism. I don't know much about it, but it is more in the East Asia, and it focuses more on the devotional aspects, like the question was there. So this is more on the devotional side of Buddhism. They focus on the compassion of Amitabha Buddha. Then Vajrayana Buddhism. This is Tantric Buddhism, which is practiced in Tibet. Now, this is basically said to be the fast route, the fast, it's said to be the highway, right? So they have certain practices like visualization, mantras, and all rituals. Certain rituals are there to accelerate the spiritual progress. But that is, again, for those people who are at that level, right? So that Vajrayana Buddhism is prevalent mostly in Tibet, right? So this is just, I hope you got an idea. There are two traditions, Theravada and Mahayana. Theravada is mostly kind of I will not say old world kind of thing, which is only the monks focus on the monastic life. Mahayana is more towards active engagement with the world, right? And being of selfless service. And within that, there are various. Then there are other traditions also, like secular Buddhism, which is practiced in the West. And this is actually a very good thing that has happened, because in the West, they follow, Christianity. So they only said that I will only take the practical aspects of Buddhism, like mindfulness and all. It's very good that it helped Buddhism to spread in the West. But the only problem is that certain key aspects of Buddhism, certain key Buddha's teachings did not, go, because they only took the surface level teachings. Then there is something like engaged Buddhism, which is basically founded by Thich Nhat Hanh. And it basically says that engaged Buddhism is applying the Buddhist principles to social environmental issues like saving the planet and all those things, right? Then Nichiren Buddhism is there, which is on the teachings of a Buddhist monk, Nichiren. They use the mantra Namo Myo Rangyo Ho Kyo. I don't use that mantra, so I don't know, but this mantra they use for their enlightenment. They practice on the mantra, right? Now, so the only thing what I want to say is that the core teaching is of the noble truths. What I am here sharing is basically so that you get an idea, on how this Buddhism is and how the traditions are there. But the core teaching always is the noble truths and the noble eightfold path. So don't worry about the tradition. You will gravitate. If you are diligent in your practice, you will yourself gravitate towards the teachers and towards the books and towards the traditions which are most suitable for your growth. Always keep that in mind. So just be diligent in your practice and do your meditation, right? Don't worry about the traditions and everything, right? Just focus on the core knowledge, core teachings of the Buddha, right? Okay. Now we'll just cover this, and then we'll end this particular one session. This is the 5 remembrances. 5 remembrances are first, they were in the Upajjhana Sutra, subjects for contemplation. Buddha said that everyone should every day remember 5 things, right? So the first thing is, I am of the nature to grow old. There is no way to escape going old. That means I am on the journey of growing old, right? I cannot escape growing old. So this is natural, my progression, that one day I will grow old. Second is, I am of the nature to have ill health. There's no way to escape having ill health. That means it is by nature to have ill health. I will have ill health over the course of time. These all cycles of good health, ill health happen. There is no way to escape them. Third, I'm of the nature to die. There is no way to escape death. That means one day I as a human being will die one day. I cannot escape death, no matter what medical intervention comes. Death is an inevitability, right? So when we have this kind of an understanding that death, one day we are going to die, and we can die the next moment also, then we realize that life is short. Do whatever good deeds. So the more I came into Buddha's path and Buddha's teachings, I have realized the importance of karma, right? Like karma is a fundamental thing in Buddhism, that we cannot escape the consequences of our actions, and we only have a limited time to do the good work, right? And that limited time, see, all the money and everything will just remain here. Again, all traditions say that, all religions say, but sometimes we forget that, right? Money or power, prestige, everything will remain here. Only we carry our good deeds to our other life, right? So time is short. So we have to decide. So we'll have to do everything to take care of our family and put food on the table. But we have to decide to, what should be our practice, what should be our way, right? And we need to just decide where we are going and where we should go. Okay. All that is dear to me and everyone I love are of the nature to change. There's no way to escape being separated from them, right? Everything is changing. Buddha's fundamental teaching is, like, if you see all these points, everywhere there's this teaching about impermanence. It's like everything is changing. There's nothing permanent. One day we will also the people who are close to us, we will be separated from them. So all my attachments, I need to look into my attachments. I'm not saying, so Buddha did not say that, just let go of the attachment. Buddha said witness these attachments, because anything that you attach with, anything that you cling with will become a reason for your suffering. Anything that you attach with, anything you cling, will become the reason of your suffering. If you want to remove the suffering, then do not cling to anything, right? Live in the moment, right? Express your love, but do not cling, do not attach to any relationships. My actions are only my true belongings. I cannot escape the consequences of my actions. My actions are the grounds upon which I stand. This is fundamental. This is basically, we will discuss more in the karma thing, or Buddhist teachings on karma. My actions are my true friends. They will accompany me. You know what happens is, and this is even in Hinduism, which is there, that we choose the body, we choose the realm of existence. So there are 31 planes of existence. When we die and we take rebirth, we choose the particular uh, realm of existence as per what our karmic structure is. So so I cannot escape that. That is like my fingerprint, right? Everyone has its unique fingerprint, and basis that you get another birth, and then you get another opportunity to move forward on the spiritual path. So whatever has happened, I cannot control that, but uh, today whatever is there, I only have that. So what basically these five remembrances are is that they bring us to the nature of who we are, the impermanent nature of things, about the actions, about the importance of doing the right karma. Right now, the utility is that helps us to stay grounded. And there are so many things in the day, so many distractions that we have. But when we come back to this knowledge, maybe we can write it somewhere, and we come back and we reflect on these things, then we realize that it helps us to helps us ground ourselves, right, to these realities of life. Brings peace and acceptance that whatever imperfections I have, whatever the problems I have, with respect to my being a human being, it brings more acceptance. Like for example, if I have a health problem, then I start accepting my health problem, right? Instead of always kind of this why going on in my mind, why this problem is there. And then the impermanence, very very important, is that everything will come and go, nothing stays. So I was doing this research about the various planes of existence, and even with the planes of devas and the higher beings, and then there are the lower realms of hell, right, which is the intense realms of suffering. But the Buddha's teaching was that everything is impermanent, right? Even the suffering that one sees in the lower realms of hell, that also is impermanent, that also won't remain ever. And even the good and the very good things that they see, that is also impermanent, right? So there is always hope that things can change. Okay, how to practice? You can recite it. Okay, now it depends how seriously you want to practice Buddha's teachings. If you want to seriously practice, you can recite, you can memorize it every day, maybe on a note or a card, or you can, like, in your journal, or you can have a folder where you can write it down, and maybe once in a week you can just come back to these things, and you can maybe take a page, and you can, in your journal, you can write down your reflections for that week on these points, right? So depending upon how deep you want to go and study and practice the dharma teachings, right? Okay, three refuges is something that we will take next week. So we will just close it for now. It's 1 hour exactly. I think we'll just keep it close it here. If anyone has any questions, we can discuss, or anyone, Snehaji, you have any question, we can discuss. Okay, thank you, Snehaji. Thank you so much. It was helpful. Okay. Thank you so much. Okay, so what we'll do is that we will close here. In the Telegram group, you can go, and if you have any question or any experience or anything, you can share in that group. We meet next Thursday, 7 p.m. IST. If you have not joined the Telegram group, in the YouTube, if you are watching this from YouTube, you can see the link down below. There is a link for Telegram channel. You can join that. So thank you so much, and we see you. Okay, thank you so much, and see you next week, Thursday, 7 p.m. IST. Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye.